everybody, it is Liz with Liz Art Finds, and oh my gosh, I have some amazing stuff to show you today. It was the craziest, I say that every week, right? But like the things that I find truly blow my mind. Before I get started with those, a couple quick announcements. I want to follow up on the Jim Lewk sculpture. I was able to contact the artist in Florida, and he informed me that it's not missing a rider. There wasn't supposed to be anything in the back because this was supposed to be a watering can. So everything is intact as is, except that holder thing was supposed to hold some glass balloons. And he sells the glass balloons separately. So I paid $6.40, I think, for that sculpture. The balloons are going to cost me $6 a balloon. I believe he said he's sending me 5, or the other way around, 5, he's sending me 6. It's going to be around $30. All in, 40, maybe 50, counting the shipping. I don't know how much that's going to cost. But they sell all day, every day, $250 for the completed sculptures. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. So I can't wait to get the glass balloons. He said he shipped them to me already. I may fall in love with it so much that I may not sell it, so we'll see. But that was kind of really exciting. It's always fun when you can track down an artist and have a little chit chat with them. So anywho, that was the big announcement follow-on thing. The other big thing obviously was I did my cat show. Thanks to any of you, all of you who happened to tune in. It was a little frenetic. I was a little anxious. I was talking really fast. And actually some of the settings here are still a little off based on that. But we had a great show, and I sold, it was like $270 worth or something like that. And I think after fees, it was around $215 profit in an hour, which, you know, and it was so fun. Oh my gosh, so fun, so much fun. I can go through, like, I actually printed out all of the cats that sold, and I'll do that at the end of the show because I think we're going to go way over a half hour today. I'm going to try to talk as fast as I can without stressing y'all out. So the other things that sold this week on eBay, this guy sold, it was a woman's top. I paid $1.87 for it. It sold for $24. And then this fish glass trivet, I had paid 74 cents for this a while back, and it sold for $10. So it was a good week, all things considered. And I will go through the fish, the cats, gosh, at the end, if we have a little time. And then fish, because my brain is thinking ahead, the next show I'm doing on knickknacks is on Saturday, the 25th of May. It is only 30 minutes. The topic is fish, or under the sea. I'm mostly going to have fish. I'm going to have a bunch of surprises. I will have a buyer's giveaway. It's going to be a little cray-cray because it's going to be going very fast. I can probably only sell 12 to 15 items in a 30-minute time frame, but yeah. Anyway, that will be on Saturday, coming Saturday. All right, so this week, the haul. It was like an around the world, treasures from around the world. I think I'm going to title this video something like that. I found things from all over, and a couple of them literally blew my mind. And one of them I had to actually message people from the thrift store going, is this what I think it is? Anyway, let's get started. I found, this was on the 8th, so we're going back. I'm going to cover between the 8th and the 14th here. I'm trying to get us back on track. Actually, that's still just a week. Well, I'm going to cover the 8th to the 14th here. We're still a little behind, but we'll get caught up eventually. So this is a beautiful, beautiful glass vase. It is older than one might think. It is, the company name on the bottom is, Dibbern, D-I-B-B-E-R-N. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. They are based in Germany. And I actually wrote down a little bit about DeBurn. They were in business since the 1960s. They manufactured and produced their own tableware. So they did a lot of porcelain work, and they did also importation of glass from Scandinavia, from some of the top Scandinavian glass makers. I think this is Scandinavian glass that was imported by DeBurn. I don't know how it got to the US. It is beautiful. It is truly beautiful. So I paid $7.49 for this. They're selling $50 to $70. I don't see one this color. I see a yellow, I see a blue. So hopefully being orange, that will set it apart, but just really, really pretty. So I picked that up. That is a either German or Scandinavian piece. And let's see, did I put anything else? Today, the DeBurn company is run by the sons of the founder, and they have 3 locations in Germany. One is in Bavaria, and one is in Hamburg, and one is somewhere else. Okay, next piece I found, same place, is this Fukagawa vase. I'm not so good with my pronunciations, but it is a beautiful, kind of looks like the, what do you call it? Gosh, when I was in Japan, they had a lot of indigo, a lot of indigo dye pieces, and this is very similar in color to what you see with the dye. Anyhow, this is Fukagawa, and they had their first ceramic kiln in 1650, and they got a grand prize at the Paris Exposition in 1900 for their stuff. So I paid $7.49 for this beautiful piece. Don't know if it's antique or vintage. I don't really know. It is made in Japan, so this is continuing our travels around the world. It's got this beautiful daffodil. The solds on these are 50 to 75. There was one that sold where somebody had listed it as an auction, and it sold for $22.50. But the ones that were buy it nows were in the 50 to 70 range. So I just thought that was beautiful. It's got no chips or cracks. It's a really, really stunning piece. The next piece I found in that same place was this Polish vase, and it actually has a Made in Poland sticker on it. I don't know if you can see that. I love these where it looks like, you know, you can kind of anthropomorphize it, like somebody putting their hands on their hips. I love the shape of this. It's a beautiful emerald green color. I have no more information on maker or time frame other than it is Polish. There was one that was listed that called it vintage. I don't know. I honestly don't know enough to know. The similars, the solds are running right now between 20 and 25. I picked it up for $4.49. I just thought the color was unbelievably beautiful. I also picked up at that same place this Dala horse. Now this is a Swedish Dala horse, and I actually looked up a little history of the Dala horses for you guys. So originally they were made for children to play with. They were wooden toys produced in the Dalarna region of Sweden, in the central Sweden. It says in central Sweden in small villages where people lived surrounded by forests. That is where the name stems from, Dala, from Dalarna. And I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. The toys gained popularity locally, and then their popularity spread, and people started embellishing them with different designs, and in some cases the colors and designs indicated the region where they were produced. So let's see. I paid for this Dala horse, another collectible, by the way. Where is it on here? There it is, $3.99. And the solds are literally all over the place because they come in different sizes as well, and different, you know, more elaborate colors and whatnot. And this one does have a little chip in the color there, a little flaking of the color. So it just totally depends. I see some 12 to 24, and then there are some solds that are like 49 to 79. So I think this will probably be in the lower end of that range. It's a pretty basic design compared to some of the others that are out there, but still pretty excited. And again, another place in our travel around the world, that is Sweden. The De Burn glass might have come from, I'm not sure where it came from actually. All right, the next one I found in that same place is a Turkish bowl. And this I think is more recent. I saw these all over the place in Canada this past summer. And it's got a little flower in the center, and it's just got these beautiful hand-painted designs on the outside. These are not worth very much, if anything, for resale. I thought it was gorgeous. It was $4.99. They sell right around there, 5 to 10. They are, like I said, pretty common. There's a store in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Canada, that has all kinds of beautiful pieces that look very much like this. But I loved it, and I couldn't leave it in the store for $4.99. So it's living with me for a little while. If I resell it, I'll get my money back out, but probably not much more than that. And then the other thing I found at this place, this one is from China, and it's not complete, okay? So this is an encased, it's a snuff bottle that's reverse painted, and you're probably not gonna be able to see it. It's got two designs. This one has some writing on it and some birds and cherry blossoms, and then this one is another painted scene. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing how they do this. This particular one has a chunk, like a chip out of the bottom, and there's no way for it to stand. It wobbles. So I think there was probably some sort of a stand at the bottom, and that it broke off, and that's why there's a chip. When I found it, there were also glue spots, like in these spots, like that. So I don't know if it was just like a decorative dot or something, or if there was a handle on the side. And then the ones that I see online have just a very simple domed stopper. And this one had this stopper with it. I don't know that it goes with it. It was just taped to it at the store. So I think this is part of something, and it was beautiful. And I paid a little much. I paid $7.99 for it. I don't know how much this would go for in its current condition, because it does have the chip, and I don't know what this actually looked like before it had this really strange stopper, and what the base might have looked like. There are a lot of things that are similar that were snuff bottles, that were small, that could be put in a pocket or whatever. This is not something that is small. This is a much bigger piece. I'm just not sure. There's a lot of not sures, and I did post it online, and so far I've had some great comments that it's reverse painted, which I knew, but no one yet has been able to help figure out like what the heck this thing is or was after that, and what it might have looked like. I'm also trying to get some translation on the Asian characters as well, because maybe that will give us some sort of a, I don't know, some more direction to look in. So let me see here. So I paid $7.99. Some of them I see listed or sold are 12 to 24. There's some that are around $75. I don't think this can sell for $75 with the big chip on the bottom. But I'm still in the process of figuring this one out. It may not be worth much more than what I paid for it, but we'll see. Hopefully I will learn more. Then I went to another place. So now we're on the 10th. All of that stuff I showed you so far was from the 8th. On the 10th, I found this vase, and this is not worth much more than I paid for it. It's a little vase, but it was made in Yugoslavia, and it's lead crystal. And in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this whole thing that's around the world. So I picked it up because it was Yugoslavia, and we didn't have anything else from Yugoslavia. So it's a cute little bud vase. It is cut crystal. It's actually, that is not correct. It is pressed. It does not have sharp edges, so it is kind of molded. And it is lead crystal. And I paid $4.99 for it. The solds are like $7.99 to $15, so maybe double my money on that. Probably not worth picking up, but it was pretty, and it was Yugoslavia, so I picked it up. I also picked up a Waterford ornament. It was just sitting there. A Waterford crystal in box from 1997. It still has its tag on it. It has been used because the ornament had a ornament hook on it. And then underneath it still has all its original paperwork in here. I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see all that. So it's pretty intact. And when I was first looking at it, there were some that seemed to sell pretty well. But I paid up. So I paid $9.99 for it, $9.99, which is crazy. The listeds are $24 to $75, and you know, when I was quickly looking in the store, of course I'm seeing these things $50, $60, $70. I'm like, yeah. And I made my own rookie mistake that I make a lot because I'm always in such a hurry. So there was one that sold on a bid at $12.99, and there are others that have sold a little higher. So I think a reasonable amount to list on this one is $24, and I did pay $10 for it. So again, we'll double our money after the fees. That'll be okay. And then a US thing that I found was the Fenton hobnail. Now, I think, and I gotta ask somebody who knows, I feel like this is part of a fairy light because it's got this indent at the bottom. But I see it listed everywhere as just a dish. And it's Fenton hobnail and it's moonlight. Oh my gosh, crescent? There's a word for when the, oh shoot, it's got a little chip on it, which I didn't notice in the store. Dang it. Well, anyway, there's this Fenton hobnail dish. We are going to move on to the next thing because that's not going to be worth much. I paid $1.99 for it. Normally they're worth $12 to $15. With a big chunk out of the side, it is probably not worth much of anything. So I'll hold on to that or sell it at a yard sale. Okay, the next place I went on the 10th, I found this piece. It's a beautiful pottery piece. It's an olive dish, and it's by a company called Hilborn, or a pottery family called Hilborn, and they're based in Canada. And they do beautiful, unique shapes on some pottery pieces, and this is one of their olive dishes. And I did write down some information on Hilborn. They are a second-generation family business, currently run by Lisa Hilborn Laycock and her husband, Tyler. I guess the mom, I would assume, Nancy Hilborn, she's the one who started it. And it says her creative and unique design style has enabled the studio to provide a distinctive brand of functional pottery that's well known and respected across North America, as well as affording her numerous awards and commissions. So let's see, and then she had a little note, Nancy Hilborn, I've been twisting, bending, squeezing, and slapping clay for over 30 years. Born and raised in Toronto, educated at University of Waterloo and Ontario College of Art in Toronto, been involved in many gallery exhibitions, one-of-a-kind craft shows, and won several awards for my work, yada, yada. I love the wheel and hand building, finishing the pieces with deep, rich tones or soft matte glazes. So they were inducted into the One-of-a-Kind Hall of Fame in November 2014, and it's an award that acknowledges individual contributions to arts and crafts community, yada, yada. So anyway, a famous pottery person up in Canada. So this is Hilborn. And the olive dishes, let's see here. I paid $1.99 for it, and they're selling around 20 to 22. I think one actually sold at 18. So just a really fun piece. And it was made in Canada. So to our around the world travels. Then I found another Chinese piece. It's gorgeous, but again, I don't think it's worth a whole lot. I got to get someone to look at the marks on it. This is a sugar and creamer set, and the pattern is Famille Noir, I believe. Yeah, Famille Noir, and it's from the mid-century, and it's intact. I don't believe there's any chips or cracks. The sugar And it's kind of hefty. It's kind of big, right? Sugar and creamer. And it's just really pretty. It's a pretty pattern. It's really well done. When I read up on it, I found that Famille Noir is on, noir means black, and it's on, and famille in French anyway is family. So I guess it's the black family of pottery here. The genuine Famille Noir pieces were made in the Kangxi era, although some had black added to the green. Yeah, that's not what this is, so I'm going to skip that. But then it says Famille Noir was once highly appreciated by Western collectors, which led to high prices, and then many pieces were counterfeited, with the result that a large proportion of those believed to be surviving examples are actually forgeries. So the popularity has since declined. So these are probably not really old, like they're probably not antique. There's a more likely to be forgeries, especially because, you know, they say made in China. And I think that's a newer mark, but again, I don't know anything about Asian imports, and I need to have somebody else take a look. I paid $2.99 for the creamer and $3.99 for the sugar. So I paid about $7 for this set. There was a white set that's almost identical that sold for $50. So there's possibility that there's some money to be made with this. I just don't know enough to know. And I see that pattern in planters. I haven't seen it online in sugar and creamer. So we'll see. I'm going to try to get more information before I list it and see what happens with that one. And then I picked up a couple of crystal perfumes. Again, I don't know anything about them. They're really cool. So there's two of them. They're heavy glass, possibly crystal, hard to know, but the stopper is ground on both of them. They're in really great condition. But oddly, there's no signature, there's no marking, so they were probably stickered, but I don't know anything about them, so I need to get more information. I don't think they're worth a ton, especially since there's two of them, which is kind of odd. I paid $5 or $4.99 each. Prices, I think, are in the 8 to 18 range, probably around 15. So there's probably $10 to be made on each of those. But they're really pretty, so I picked those up. And back on our travels around the world, this piece is a Greek reproduction pot, I believe. I don't think it's an antique, although, you know, it's old. You know, it's old. I just don't know how old. I gotta get some more information on it. And I really liked the woven, I don't know if it's leather. I don't know what that is, but the woven work on the handles. There was a point in time where people were making reproductions of very old antique Greek vessels. I believe that's what this is. Again, I got to get more information. I haven't had time to post this one and ask questions. So there was one that was similar that sold for like $30. There's others that don't have these woven things here that sold, you know, 15 to 18. So I don't think it's worth a ton. But again, it's worth more than what I paid for it. I paid $4.99 for it. And I think it's kind of fun. So that was Greek. And again, in my head, I'm like, around the world, it's something, it's another place. So I am going to do an around the world sale. I just don't know when, probably later in the summer. I found a Navajo pastel carved vase, and I love finding these. They're just so pretty, and it's signed. These are just really fun. It's a later style for the Navajo pottery. They started doing the white clay with the pastels much later than some of their original, you know, really old historical work. But it's just really, really pretty, and I paid $2.99 for it. And they go anywhere from 20 to 60. So I just, I just like this. I pick up pieces that make me smile, and I don't know, that I like. So I kind of like that one. All right, so now, oh, nope, 2 more things that day. Yeah, you're gonna love this. So I showed you guys the cat with the fork and spoons last week because I was selling it in the cat sale. It actually sold, and it's already packaged to go out tomorrow, so, unless it actually shipped yesterday. I shipped a bunch of stuff. But anyway, so that was one more thing I picked up that day. And then this last one, this is the one where I called somebody. I'm just like, and I posted it online and I asked questions. Okay, so remember my Bitossi bird, which just sold recently I bought it for $5.99 and it sold for $425. This is not that expensive. It's not that rare, but it is also Bitossi. It is always mind-boggling to me to walk into a store and just, you kind of do the double take, like, wait, what? And it's this, wait, is that what I think it is? I don't think, it can't be, it's just your brain goes through so many things. When it's a thrift store, I'm not going to an antique mall where there are people that are curating these beautiful collections. I'm just walking into a thrift store and I'm finding these insane things. So this does have some condition issues. It's got some chips around the gold paint on the top. In the Bitossi group online, someone commented that it's an easy restoration. I thought about actually getting some of the gold paint and trying to restore it myself. And then I decided it's probably better to let whoever buys it get it restored if they choose to. I paid $5.99, and this is also Aldo Landi. It's the same designer as the bird. This is from the 1960s. The style is called Thai silk. Thai as in Thai, silk. That is the design of this piece. It's got really cool design, and the gold is shiny, and it's just really pretty. So this is the size of this vase. So the solds are probably 80 to 100. There was one that sold recently for 125. There are some that are listed higher, but the solds are pretty consistently right around 100 to 125 or 90 to 125. Because of the chipping on the top here, I don't think it'll sell for 125. I think it'll be a little bit less, but it's still really nice to find something for that you pay $5.99 for, and it sells for around $100 or even $75, right? So this is my exciting find, and that of course is from Italy. It's even got its original Raymore sticker. It's a little torn, but I think that was the importer maybe. So yeah, that was huge. And then I got more stuff. So I went to, now we're on 2 days later, we are looking at the 12th of May. And I went to, I think, like 4 or 5 places. No, actually it just looks like 3 places that day. And the first thing I found, somebody had donated a little egg collection, and most of the eggs that were there were not anything, but there was this one beautiful glass paperweight egg. And this is made by Glass Eye Studio. It says at the bottom, GES 94. You're probably not going to be able to see that. Yeah, there you go. GES 94. And GES stood for Glass Eye Studio. And I may have mentioned them earlier. I think we had an oil lamp by Glass Eye Studio. They are in Washington State. And I'm going to read, I think I wrote one line. Founded in 1978 in Seattle's famed Pike Place Market, Glass Eye Studio is one of the oldest and largest privately owned hot shops in the country, and it served as a training ground for some of the most famed glass artists of the Pacific Northwest, right? So they didn't sign with their individual names, so I don't know and may never know who the artist was on this piece, but it is a Glass Eye Studio paperweight and it is amazing. This guy is already up for sale on Knickknacks, so he's available now on knickknacks.net in my little shop there. I paid, let's see, $1.99 for him, and I believe I have him listed at $22.99. Most of the solds are between $20 and $24. So that is him. And then at that same place, bending over here, I found a side-in stricker or sit-in stricker, I don't know how to actually say it, platter. And theirs is different than Peggy Karr. It's similar but different. So it was a very similar production style, but the look of their stuff is different. And it's, for me, pretty easy to tell, especially since I've studied so much on Peggy Karr. But this has that wavy bowl thing, and it's signed side-in stricker or sit-in stricker on the back. It's just really, really hard to see their signature because they often do it over an opaque area and it's just really hard to see. So on this one, it's really faded, but this is a bunch of seashells. Depending on if I have enough time, this may show up in my under the sea fish thing, but probably not because I have a lot of things with actual fish on them. But if I have extra time at the end, I may have some of the shell things in there as well. Okay, and let's see, we're doing good on time, a little over, but we don't have that much more. Okay, so then I went to another place on the 12th and I found this amazing Peggy Karr. This is a water lily. It is a giant bowl, giant serving bowl. I've never seen this pattern and I've never seen this size. I mean, this is amazing. I do have a chili bowl that's not oval, it's round, and I have that one up on eBay somewhere. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this one. It may go into a knickknack show at some point. I don't know. It's big. I found this one. It was $7.99. The solds on the things this size are 50 to 65. There's not a lot of things this size that there's good data for. I was just really excited about that one. And then I went to one more place and I found Bill Campbell. I mean, it just blows my mind. Now, I think it's missing something. So this is a small pot that's signed Campbell on the back. There was the sticker over the bottom, so I did not know it was Bill Campbell until I got it home. I just picked it up because it was so beautiful. What I'm finding online, I think it's supposed to be an oil lamp, and I think it's supposed to have a lid, and it's just a very small ceramic lid, but the lid had a hole in it, and then there was a wick that went down into it. I think that's what this is. So there are still people selling just the bases without that lid. I paid $2.99 for it, and the prices are anywhere between $24 to $45. I think $45, some of those are bigger, and obviously they're intact. So I think, $24 to $28 is probably a reasonable amount on that one. It just made me smile when I saw it, because I didn't know it was Bill Campbell. It just made me smile, and then I got home, I took the tag off, and I kind of did a happy dance. I was pretty excited about that. And then I found, did I bring it out here? Ooh, it may not be here. I found, oh, there it is. Another one of the Culver glasses. I found one of these a few weeks ago. And so now I have a pair, which is exciting. So I will sell those in probably a Christmas in July sale on Knickknacks sometime in July. Really excited to find that. And then I found, oh my gosh, I do have more stuff. All right, I'm gonna go fast. The Mount St. Helens Ash Egg, and this was at a different place, and this was on a different day. So this was on the 14th. I paid $1.99 for it. It is listed already over on Knickknacks for $22.99. Again, same price as this. They're basically the exact same size, just a different studio. This one has the sticker. It says North Fork Survivors Mount St. Helens Ash Glass. That's the shop that sold it, I believe. There's a shop at the base of Mount St. Helens called North Fork Survivors. I don't know who made it. I don't know well, it was obviously made in the US, but I'm not sure when. But it's got that iridescent sheen, which you probably can't see, but it does kind of reflect a lot of different colors on top of the pink. So I love that. I also found a small wooden cat with picture holder. Did I sell that? Oh no, I don't have that out here though. It's a tiny little wooden Pier 1 Imports cat that had a little thing that, like a little swirly tail. That's up on Knickknacks. I paid like 99 cents. It's listed for $4 because it's not worth any more than $4. But that one is already listed. And then I had a troll, which I showed in my cat sale, with a little cat sitting next to it. I can't believe I didn't bring those back out here because it didn't sell in the Knickknacks sale. And that one I paid $2.79 for, and she's worth a lot of money. So I have her listed, I don't even remember what I put up as the price, but the sold comps are 29 to 35 and some higher, some 50, 60. But she's got some condition issues, so it's somewhere down there. All right, a couple other things. I found a baggie that had a bird and a pot, and it also had another bell, which I threw away because it was in terrible condition. The entire baggie was like $4. So this is a Carolina Wren, and it is from Pigeon Forge Pottery. It is signed. Well, it's signed Pigeon Forge anyway. It's really hard to see. And there was one of these that actually sold online in 2016. So I found it on WorthPoint, and it sold for $24.99. So I definitely think that was worth the pickup. And then the pottery vase, I don't know anything about. It is signed at the bottom. It's just a little pottery vase. It could be a student piece. It could be a studio piece. I don't know. I paid $1.74. I basically, maybe I only paid like $3.50 for the whole thing. So that's worth $5 to $8, maybe a little more. I found a mercury glass mushroom. It's not real mercury glass. Back in the day when they did mercury glass, I did a little reading on this. They actually blew 2 layers of glass and then put in a silvering solution in between the 2 layers of glass. This one you can see it's 1 layer of glass and the silvering is on the inside. So this is more recent, probably from the 60s or 70s, I would guess, since mushrooms were really big back then. And let's see, I paid $2.79. One sold for $29 in January, and I swear it's the exact same mushroom, really, really similar. I picked up a colorful pottery bowl. I just like the glaze on this. It is signed. I don't know by whom yet. It's probably upside down. I don't know. So I will post that one to the Studio Pottery group and try to get an ID on it before I list it. I paid $4.19. I don't know, maybe worth 6 to 8, maybe more. I don't know. I found an IKEA brass giraffe. I paid $4.19 for that. It is obviously not that old. They're selling online for, did I do that right? I have 29 to 35, but I also have 29 to 35 for the next one. So I don't know if that's correct. And then my last piece was this beautiful fish dish. And this is a company called Ilant Olam Tov in Israel, and it is from the 70s. It's got a really fun fish. You probably can't see that. Well, it's got the bottom of it. It was like it was done in a mold because it's got the like scales and an eye and whatnot in the glass on the back. So that's really pretty. I paid $5.59 for that. I also wrote down here 29 to 35, so I don't know if one of those is wrong. I would guess the brass giraffe might be a little bit less. Okay, so that is all I have on my haul, which, my gosh, around the world, right? And so many things. I'm over by 8 minutes. I am going to run really, really quickly through the cats that I sold and what I sold them for. So we had some craziness ensue. I had a couple pieces that got into bidding wars. So they sold for a lot. And then I had a few pieces that sold for just a couple dollars more than I paid for them. So not so much. But when you combined it all together, I made, my net was over $200. So it was really exciting. So we had the Laurel Birch cat lion mug. I paid $3.99 for it. It sold for $12. Oh, here's the spoon cat. This is the spoon fork cat I was telling you about. I paid $1.99 for it. It sold for $8. This tiny little napkin holder guy, I paid 99 cents for. He sold for $6. This vase has been sitting in my eBay store for probably a year and a half. I originally paid $6.99 for it. I pulled it out of eBay and it sold for $18. I was excited about that. The Seymour Man cat, I paid $1 for. It sold for $6. The tiles, the cats and sombreros, oh my God, I love this so much. $1.49 I paid for it. It sold for $6. So some of these things sold for less than what they're worth. But that, like I said, that's okay. I'm happy to move them on to their new happy home. My little broken Pence cat that I thought I would have to keep because I thought no one would love him because he was broken. I paid $3.19 and he sold for $10. So I was very excited. The Venda Imports cat, tall cat figure, I had this one up on eBay for a while. I had originally paid $2.99 for it. It sold for $20. So obviously I took that off eBay. This beautiful cat that I showed you just a week or two ago, I had gotten at the Reston yard sale, the community yard sale, for $1 and it sold for $8. That one's a great buy and it's just the cutest little guy. This guy I picked up for $7.99. It sold for $17. It's the metal cat from Germany. The little holder, that's the catnip with a hint of rodent. I also had the little cover that I put with it. I picked that up for 99 cents. It sold for $13. This guy I picked up a while back for 49 cents. It was a Fitz and Floyd cat on pumpkin dish. It sold for $8. I was holding it originally to do for Halloween, but when I did my cat sale, I was like, you know, I have that dish. The LeBeau Panther, the one that was not Hager, but was LeBeau. I paid $11.24 for it, and he sold for $39. And the box that's going out is a ginormous box. So he's double boxed and ready to go to his new owner. The cat candle went to a person who collects vintage candles, which I was really excited about. I paid $3.99 for it. It sold for $24. My curvy cat vase, I paid $3.99 for. It sold for $43. So this was one that got into a bidding war. So amazing, right? I thought I was paying up at $3.99 and it sold for $43. And then the last one, it was a bidding war between 3 people and it started, I think I listed it probably on a Tuesday, maybe. I'm not sure, but the bidding war started that night. And there were 2 people going back and forth, and then a third joined in, and it just got crazy. And then when the 30-second auction went on, it went even higher. So I paid $2 for this little cat, and it sold for $77. Crazy, right? So you never know, like when you're sourcing, you just never know which thing is going to pop off, which is why, you know, it's like I buy so many different things because you just never know. So anyway, that is all that I have today. I want to thank everybody. I forgot to thank the subscribers, new subscribers at the beginning, and welcome you all. I just had so many things running through my head here. So hopefully I'll see you all on Saturday night in the comments when I am doing my fish as part of the zoo train. It is only a 30-minute slot. I will only be live between 8 and 8:30. I will try to simulcast here and Facebook as well, but if you want to bid and get in on the action and see everybody else's comments, you want to join us on Knickknacks, and that is Niknax, knickknacks.net. And I have a few surprises. I don't want to give them all away, but it's people will be wearing costumes at the various shows during the day, and I have some exciting surprises. So anyway, I will see you all. Hopefully, we'll see you next week. If I don't see you Saturday night, I'll be back on Sunday with another video. Have a great one, everybody. Bye.